You've been able to see Wall Street as someone that ran a firm. You've been able to see it as someone who was convicted and sentenced to prison. You're now able to see Wall Street as someone who has come out the other end.
Right.
What's your description of how Wall Street operates today?
I think things have changed fundamentally since the GFC. I have friends that work at some of the really big firms, and I know that there's been massive changes in the compensation plans. Places like Goldman, where they hold back a huge portion of commissions now to make sure that the trades and the products they sold end up working out over the 5-year horizon versus just making money year one and then blowing up on year 3. So I think that's a really good thing. I think, of course, there's more work to do. But again, I think the danger is that in the beginning, when there's a cataclysm, everyone says, oh, we're going to focus on ethics, we're going to retrain everybody and do things a certain way. And they slowly start to forget, and step by step, it fades back to where it was. So I think there needs to be some vigilance to make sure there's continued education. When I always say, I give these talks around the world, and what I say to people is that what you hear every once in a while doesn't really make that much of an impact on you. What you hear every single day, day in, day out, that makes a massive impact. So repetition, learning, and focusing on the ethics as well as making money. See, the brokers will always figure out how to make money. So if you focus on the ethics, and the balance will be in a good spot.
So Wall Street's had a trend over the last week. There's been a lot of announcements with Goldman Sachs and other banks of, up to 20% pay increases for mid-level and junior bankers.
Right.
Obviously, people still go into banking because it's a great way to make money. Something that attracted you to Wall Street, obviously, was that as well. So now we see people, there's a lot of competition for talent. A lot of these pay increases are related to people going to Silicon Valley and, a little bit sexier industries to make just as much or more money.
Right.
Where do you see yourself? If you were entering the workforce today, would you be developing apps and trying to sell them to venture capitalists and angel investors, or is that an industry you think that would attract you?
It's hard to say because, I think anyone who's born past a certain, before a certain date will never truly understand the internet. Like, I'm too old, so it's like my kids, they intuitively understand all the apps, and it just completely baffles me, everything. But if I was that age, I probably would be looking at that, that internet app, website-driven businesses, because the upside's so massive. But at the same time, listen, I think there's always going to be amazing money made on Wall Street, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that anyone in the U.S., regular citizens, begrudge bankers making a lot of money, provided that they create value. The problem is that they made money and they blew up the economy. So I think as long as they're doing the right thing and creating value, there's no issue with bankers and brokers getting paid a lot because they're serving a function. It's only when they're making money and not creating value. So as long as the focus is on that, I think it's okay.
Can't avoid the idea of restitution and paying back. As you said, you're going to use the profits from your motivational speaking tour to pay back the investors who you defrauded. Where are you along in that? I mean, how long is this going to hang over you?
Good question. I paid back a lot, and I intend to pay back an awful lot over the next 24 months. And I hope to pay it all back. And, I wish I could project out exactly how many people would show up for all these, talks and all the stuff that leads to. But
and you've already paid back, what, millions of dollars?
No, tens of millions, yeah.
Tens of millions.
I think 12 or 13 million so far. And all the book money is all going to investors. The movie money is going to investors. I'm fortunate I'm able to do really well with my business, and I'm not living poorly. I mean, I make a lot of money overseas as well, but I wanted all the money from the U.S. I wanted all of it.
Because that's not part of it. It's separate. The overseas is separate from the U.S.?
Well, separate sort, yeah. But, I couldn't give all my money, else I wouldn't be able to live, right? And I believe that the two are not mutually exclusive. I should live a good life and pay back at the same time. I think that's really what redemption's all about is, I don't think people should be whipped and flogged. That's my belief. And I'm thankful, and I have gratitude that I have been able to build the business to where it is now, where I can do so much business in the U.S. and give all that money back. And that's a cool thing.